RPP. What is it? Why do I care? Why does it indicate how healthy your referral business is? If that's something you're curious about, let's chat. You're in the right place. Hi, I'm Mike Cerrone with 2 referrals per month. And on this channel, what we talk about is how you can add 2 referral closings to your current production. All right, today we're going to talk about the topic of RPP. RPP. Might want to write that down. RPP. What is it? What does it stand for? Why do we care? Excuse me. So RPP is referral productivity percentage. Referral productivity percentage. Basically, what this thing is going to do, it's a ratio, and it's going to tell us how productive our database of PCSOI is. Now, PCSOI is your past clients and sphere of influence. These are people that we're asking for repeat and referral business from. The RPP tells us how many of those people is actually going to produce business for us each year based on what's happened historically. All right, so let me tell you how you figure out your RPP, and it'll make a little more sense. So if you were to look out over the last 12 months and you were to track or just write down how many of your closings occurred because of a repeat or referral that was sent to you from your list of PCSOI, that's a number we need to know. How many closings came in from your PCSOI list? Okay, and we call those repeat and referral. How many of those people either repeated or sent you a referral that resulted in a closing? All right, so that's the number. How many closings did we have over that 12 months that we can track back to the PCSOI list? Then the second number we need is how many people are on the PCSOI list, right? How many people do we have in our past client and sphere of influence database? So let me give you an example. Let's say over the last 12 months, you had 10 closings that came out of your PCSOI list. Cool. And then we look at our PCSOI list, and to make it simple, let's just say that you got 100 people on your PCSOI list. What we're going to do is we're going to take that 10 closings and divide by the 100 people, and it's going to give us a percent. In this case, it's going to give us 10%. 10% would be your RPP. And that'd be a very healthy one, by the way. It'd be a very good job. Let's give you another example. Let's say you have a list that has 200 people on it, and in that on that 200 person list, you had 14 closings for the year. 14 closings came out of your 200 person list. Great. Let's do the math. We're going to take the 14 and we're going to divide by the 200, and that's going to give us a grand total of 7%. So 7% is our repeat and referral percentage. Okay, so you got to find out what that is. That's where you start to know how well you're doing with your list and what the potential is for you to grow. Okay, so let me give you that part of the equation, and then we're going to wrap this up. But let me help you out a little bit by I've studied a lot of agents out there to find out what they're doing. I've studied the top agents. I've also studied regular everyday working agents to find out what they're doing. And we've gathered a lot of statistics. And this is what we found out. In general, these numbers pop out pretty good. An agent who's really starting to get into this, they're starting to be consistent, have some good marketing, and work their list, they should see about a 5% RPP over the course of a year. Okay, so if you're just popping into this, take your list size and then multiply that by 5%. That's approximately how many closings you can expect looking forward or predicting out into the future. All right, so let's say you have a list of 300. I'm just trying to use round numbers to make it simple. You use your actual number, but let's say it's 300, and you have a 5%. You're going to expect a 5% RPP because you either have done that in the past or you really are dedicated to doing what it takes to stay in front of these folks. And we're going to talk about that later. But if you do that, you're going to expect about a 5% RPP, or 5% of those people are going to close. So if you got 300 people, that's 15 closings per year, right? Starts to get pretty exciting. Okay. Now, that's a brand new person getting into this. Now, it doesn't mean you're a new agent. Maybe it's somebody you're experienced, but you haven't really been working your database. Once you start creating the list or working the database, as we're going to go through it again as we develop this channel for you, as you do that, you should expect about 5% of these folks to go ahead and result in a closing. Now, there's a second group of people. These are people who have gone in there, they've become consistent, they've got really nice professional looking marketing, they're really working the system, and they've started to get some traction. These people can often get up to 10%, 10% RPP, or referral productivity percentage. Now the numbers get real exciting, right? Let's go back to that person who has a list of 300 people. If they can get 10% of those folks to end up in a closing each year, either by the fact that they bought the first time, they repeated, or they referred somebody who closed. 10% of 300 is 30 closings per year. 30 closings per year. That's starting to get pretty exciting for most folks. I don't know about you, but that's pretty awesome. All right. So now let's keep going, though, because we have another level of expertise in this group. Now, there are people who can get up to a 20% RPP, 20%. Now, these are usually, by the way, the top solo agents, who are focusing all their efforts on repeat and referral. They get really, really good at it. They've got great marketing. They're consistent. They're out there all the time. They're talking to their folks. They're interacting with them. And that's resulting in this flood of business coming in for them. And when I look at the stats, basically they're getting up right around that 20% mark. Some of them are even exceeding it. But if you think about that now, 20% of your list resulting in repeat and referral. Let's go back to our 300-person list there, the 300-person PCSOI. If you get 20% of those folks to close, wow, that's 20% of 300 is 60 closings per year, 5 a month. That's real exciting, isn't it? And that's how a top solo agent is able to generate some of these high numbers, especially coming out of their repeat and referral. They get very focused. They get that productivity percentage up really high, that referral productivity percentage, and everything comes together for them. That's why RPP is very important for you. You've got to assess where you are. Now you can predict in the future. And if you start to really focus on this and improve your marketing quality and your consistency and your approaches, you can bump that number up from wherever you are at. The other reason I tell you this is that you may realize that you have some blue sky. You may think, I have this list, Mike, and for the last 3 years, I have a list of 150 people. And for the last 3 years, I've been getting 7 to 8 closings a year. And, that's nice, but I really think there's more. Is there more, or am I just tapped out? All right, well, we take 7 to 8, maybe I'll say 7.5, a list of 150, that's about 5%. Yeah, you got a lot of room to grow, right? This is actually pretty exciting because you should be able to take that from 5 to 10. And if you really work it, you could even get up as high as 20%. So you could take those 7 to 8 closings, turn them into 15, and maybe even turn them into 30 with the same size list. That's the beauty of repeat and referral. Okay, you get to focus on a very small group of people and get some really big results. The converse to that, or the alternative to that, is when you market to the general public, okay, the people that don't know you. Now you got to reverse all those numbers because you're going to have to go out to a huge group of people to just try to get a 0.5% or maybe 1% to come in, which would be considered phenomenal. So you'd have to go maybe market to 1,000 people and say geo-farming or internet leads out there. And from the 1,000 people, you'd get 10 closings, right? Where you could have done 10 closings with a list of 100 people. Does that make sense? Do you understand why it's so cool and why it's important for you to build out this PCSOI list and learn the best ways to reach out, talk to them, interact with them? And again, we'll go through that part of the equation later. I just want you to get the big picture of how important it is to know your RPP, your referral productivity percentage, and why it comes in for assessing your current production as well as your future production and where you want to take it. All right, I hope this has been helpful. If it has, give us a thumbs up on the video. YouTube loves when you give us a thumbs up, give us a like. It really helps out the channel, and we appreciate that. Also, if you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. I'd love to hear what you have and what you're thinking. And if you like this journey and where we're going with it, and you want to participate and learn as these new videos come out, be sure to subscribe to that channel and hit that notification bell so you get this information as it comes out fresh. Well, I appreciate you joining with us today, and I hope things go really well for you, and I hope you take care. Bye for now.